Hello and welcome back to Heart of the Holte Villa Filler podcast, whatever you want to call it. Riding solo today because this morning Aston Villa decided to sell Danny Ings to West Ham. Now, Dan's at work. I start work in a few hours, so thought we'd best come on and talk about this because, as you all know, this is a podcast which loves Danny Ings. However, that comes with a caveat because I don't believe Aston Villa should have ever signed Danny Ings. Now, it came at a time where we obviously sold Jack Grealish for £100 million. In case you were living under a rock, don't know why I said that. We needed a new front three. So I'm sorry for the voice as well. I've pretty much just got out of bed, so forgive me. We recorded late last night as well, as you'd have seen for the preview. And there's a transfer rumour that's supposed to go today, but that'll go later now. So this has completely muddied the schedule. Thanks, Villa, for considering our busy life as well. But yeah, obviously we needed a new look front three. And with that 100 million, that got spent on Emi Buendia, Danny Ings and Leon Bailey. Again, I'm telling you things you all know. £30 million for Danny Ings is a very good deal. However, Aston Villa didn't ever have a clear game plan of how to deploy Danny Ings and how to get the most out of him, which is one of the most frustrating things because if you look at the numbers over the past few years, Danny Ings has the second highest expected goals from any striker in the Premier League, only behind Harry Kane over the past 6 years. The guy knows how to score goals. However, Aston Villa, during his time at the club, never fully gave him a good crack, in my opinion, in the first team, a good, decent run, starting games consistently and getting the minutes that I felt he probably deserved, especially for the fee. And we just never facilitated him in ways which he should have been facilitated. Sorry, I'm going to have to cut the coughs out. Bloody hell, I'm feeling a bit ill. Sorry, guys. Ings he's predominantly played in twos throughout his whole career. However, I do believe, and I will die on the hill, that he can play as a solo striker. You just need to play them sort of slide balls on the floor, in behind the defence, to find Danny Ings. I don't think, with a player of Emi Buendia's capabilities and Felipe Coutinho on his day, you would have thought that we'd have been able to have got the best out of Danny Ings. However, it's just not happened. And given the age and given the fee we paid, and given the fact he's got 18 months left on his contract, and I'd imagine he's on at least 100 grand a week given his reputation, it absolutely makes sense to get rid of him. And there's a part of me that dies when I say that because Danny is a quality striker, and I don't believe Villa have probably signed a player who is sort of at the peak of their ability in such a long time. And it's a shame that it just hasn't worked out because, Danny Ings is comfortably on his day one of, if not the best striker outside of the top six clubs. I don't think that's a controversial opinion whatsoever. And anybody who listens to the podcast knows how much I love Danny Ings and how much I would give him game time. And this kind of leads us on, interestingly, to the John Duran transfer. Duran. It's not, but apparently Carlos Bacca, who used to play at Sevilla under Unai Emery, has been the point of communication between the Colombian FA and Aston Villa about this transfer because he's currently playing in an under-20s tournament. Now, we've sold Danny Ings. We're a striker down. I'm sure there's a plan. I don't doubt Unai Emery whatsoever. You guys know he has my full and unequivocal trust until he gives me a reason not to. And this is an elite manager, so he'll have it probably till the very end. But John Duran, in my opinion, not that I've seen a lot of him, albeit, I have to caveat with that. Is he ready to start in the Premier League? I don't know. I'm honestly not sure. And I'm not sure if he's ready to be a Danny Ings replacement. Does this mean with Ings going that he's going to come straight in? Potentially. Does it mean he's ready to start? Maybe not. But if you can get him in and around, then maybe that's going to be a good thing. But to me, what it would suggest, and it's something that we kind of spoke about in the Transfer Rumor podcast that's going to come out later, is Gerard Deulofeu. This is a player who we spoke about. It seems like there's been some serious movement there. And if we can bring this guy in for around the 17 million euros, which has been reported, which is about £30 million, there's a 2 million swing there on the Ings deal. He's a player that can cover a multitude of positions. It's going to be an interesting one. But Villa fans, calm down. We need to stay calm because Unai Emery is the guy. He's the Don. And we need a clear out at the club, especially more to sort of move people in. I don't know if people are aware, but one of the big sort of factors on financial fair play and how you can kind of not avoid it, but um, like maximize your spend is also by selling, and that seems obvious. But one thing that people don't often take into account is not only the fact that there's going to be a 15 million transfer fee from West Ham for Danny Ings, but it's that 100 grand a week that accumulates. 52 weeks in a year, 100 grand. That's a lot of money, and that obviously also becomes free and sort of helps balance the books in that way. So getting Ings off the books now, as opposed to in 6 months' time when there's only 12 months left on the deal, and then this time next year, if he's still around, he can talk to clubs and leave for free. At least we're getting some form of a return on our investment. And it's frustrating because Villa don't often make a profit on players they sign. And I don't think we ever were going to on a Danny Ings, let's be completely real, especially given the age and the profile. However, to get 15 million from this, I think is a good deal. And ultimately, we just have to trust Unai Emery. He is the guy. And until he gives us a reason not to, in my opinion, here's my full and unequivocal support, as I've mentioned on many a podcast. But guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on the comments down below on this deal. It kind of feels like a kick in the balls, but it's one you just got to firm, in my opinion. And I'd really appreciate if you guys would show the channel support. Woke up this morning, monetization has been turned off on the channel, which is just fucking brilliant, if I'm being honest. Not that we ever made a lot of money from it anyway, but it kind of helped fund the software and stuff like that, and like the giveaway items. So your support in watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that kind of stuff now means more than ever. We'd really appreciate it if you would engage. The growth has been mad recently, so while YouTube is having a little tantrum with us, we'd appreciate as much support from you guys as possible. And if you didn't know as well, we're on TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok, it's at Heart of the Holte. On Instagram, it's at VillaFillerPod. We've been smashing it on the shorts on YouTube. They're going up on TikTok and Instagram. We're just trying to make the Villa Filler as accessible as possible to all of you guys, because we love talking about the Villa, and it's just, I mean, the fact that we get to do this every day, not every day, but, Dan and I count ourselves very lucky that we've got such a cool audience, that you guys really enjoy the content. So it'd mean a lot if you'd engage, support, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. It means the absolute world. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and up the Villa.